Hello fellow fooditarians, welcome back to Earth to Rocco. Today we're making the best homemade deep fried onion rings. We're going to be making a beer batter for our onion rings that are going to help our onion rings to achieve a beautiful golden color and a crispy texture. Of course, onion rings can be served as an appetizer or a side dish, or even on its own as a meal. Why not? These onion rings are super easy to make and the flavor is out of this world. Let me show you how to make them.
If you like it, then you should have put an onion ring on it.
So I've already peeled my onion and I'm using a sweet onion. You can use any type of onion, but I'm using a sweet onion to give my onion rings a bit more flavor and they'll also cook better. Use a sharp knife, but be careful not to cut yourself. I've placed the onion on its side and I'm gonna cut it into 1/4-inch slices. So don't worry if this happens, just set them aside and use them for something else. Now I'm just gonna gently separate the onions into rings.
When can an onion ring marry a hot dog?
When?
After they have a very frank relationship. Get it?
No. Now let's make the batter. To make our batter, we're gonna start by using 1.5 cups of flour, 2.5 tablespoons of baking powder, some salt, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. So I'm just gonna combine these dry ingredients. I'm gonna use a full bottle of ice cold beer. The reason you want it cold is because it's going to give your onion rings a crispier batter. The darker the beer, the more depth of flavor. The carbonation is also going to make your onion rings more light and airy. If you don't want to use beer, you can always substitute for club soda. You don't want to overmix this, just gently mix it until it's combined. If you overmix it, it'll kill the carbonation in the beer. My batter's a little bit too thick, so I'm going to add some more beer. That's much better. The consistency is perfect. Now I'm gonna take everything over to the stove and we can start frying. So I've got my station all set up. We got the onions, the batter, and some flour that I'm gonna use to dredge the onions. I also added a little bit of salt in there. I have about 1 inch of oil in here and it's heated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can only put as much onions in your pan that'll fit. For this reason, I'm gonna use a mixture of large and small rings in each batch. So first I'm gonna coat them in the dredge. And then I'm going to use a fork to dip them in the batter. They're starting to brown already, so I'm going to flip them over. They're starting to look ready. I'm going to transfer them over to a cooling rack. On the cooling rack, we're just going to hit them with a little bit of salt. Now we can continue doing this in batches. This is so good. It's perfectly crispy and you can really taste the sweetness of the onion. The beer batter made it really nice and airy. And this isn't even half of what I made, with just 1 onion.
I'm not really double dipping because I'm using the good side.
Thank you for joining me in creating these delicious onion rings. They're great to serve at your next party. If you liked today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with my latest vegan recipes. Head on over to earthtorocco.com for the ingredients and instructions for today's recipe and more. Ring you later.